Is your One Piece collection a reflection of your passion, or is it just a spreadsheet in physical form? I read that online somewhere and it really stuck with me, because I thought, if you listen to the noise of what's going on, and the more I'm listening to different content creators and people in this space, the more I'm realizing it's just feels like it's becoming about, you know, run this passion and hobby that we all have, and run your collection as a business. And I think there's elements to that are important, because that helps you make smart decisions, but not at the sacrifice of enjoying the hobby. And I've got so much to say today, and if this video was an episode, it would be called the Sabo Awakening. And I bought a card, and I missed this when I was looking at OP15. I missed this, and I bought this, and when it arrived, it just, and this could be recency bias, but it's one of my favorite cards in my collection, and I'll explain to you why in a minute. But there's something special about these storytelling cards, and if you look at, for example, this art, which I had this somewhere else in the house, and I've moved it recently just because I think it looks really cool with the One Piece collection. But this is 200 years old. It's the Great Wave of, I think it's Kanagawa, but it's like from 1815 or something. So it's like 200 years old. But this art is timeless. It kind of encapsulates the power of the wave and the storm when you've got the mountain in the background, and it's just, and you can see people struggling in the water and in the storm, and you can just take one look at that and you can see, even though it's very simple in the artwork and the design, it captures a moment, it captures a piece of history. And you might say, oh my God, how can you compare a One Piece card to one of the most famous pieces of art in history, or certainly of Japanese art? But there's definitely some similarity, let's call it that, similarity. And you might say this is a stretch to get to this Sabo card, and it is, it's a stretch, right? But this is how it made me feel. And it's been a little while since I bought a card, and some of them have certainly done that, but I bought a card and I felt this with the Kid SP as well, but these new SPs, they're just something special. And I mean, I'll show you the card I'm talking about, because I just think, again, this is not financial advice, but this card is just something special. And I'm not going to be able to capture it, but it's just an unbelievable SP. And calling this the Story Sabo, as in storytelling, but for short, just the Story Sabo. Oh, I can't really get it on to focus, but you can't really see in the light, but it's an unbelievable, the texturing and the way it tells this part of the story in Dressrosa. It's a moment from the anime that it's an epic moment. It's a really important moment. And these kind of cards, when you get stuff like this, I mean, I think this is going to do really, really well. Okay, long term, this is going to do really, really well. But this will never leave my collection, because it's just one of those cards that I will never want to trade or sell. Because one, it's just gorgeous to look at, and two, it's the tie into the anime. And I was looking at the price of this, and you know, I was looking at the other Sabo, which has like the normal background, but you call it maybe the gum fruit background style, versus this storytelling, as I said, from a moment in an anime. Some of you want to know what I'm talking about, others don't, and some people are like, well, it's 20 years old, the anime, how can you talk about spoilers? But some people started watching the Netflix show, then started watching the anime. So they're only like, some people are only 100, 200, 300, 400 episodes in. So they won't have got this far. So I don't want to spoil it, but this is a really big moment in Dressrosa. So yeah, I'm not going to ruin it basically, but it's just captured so well in this card. And I was, in my last video, I was talking about, so this was a bit of an awakening moment. I haven't stopped picking up this card. This is, and again, you might say that's crazy, but this is like currently, this is just my favorite card. I keep picking it up and looking at it. It's so, the texturing, the background, the giant fist in the sky coming down, the way it just decimates the whole, you know, it doesn't just you can see that it's not just punching down on the guys, on the guy Sabo's fighting, but it decimates the whole arena, and that's like encapsulated in this card. It just captures the scene really well. And I think the bubble Zoro as well, you know, in the last episode I'm talking about P Konami, and I think community branding is important, and community branding matters, like, you know, like the P Konami, because I think those kind of gateway cards, the gateway in, they'll do very well over time. But and so I think it's, you know, I've got one coming in the post at the moment. I think those are cool cards to collect. But you know, that the P Konami, I mean, arguably I would say that that's not, that bit with Zeus and with Nami, I mean, that's not like, the bubble Zoro has done particularly well because it encapsulates the spirit of the Straw Hat crew. Like, it encapsulates them and the relationship between Sanji and Zoro. It's kind of captured in that scene, and I think that's why that card is going to do very well, and that's why that's a must pick up for me. But it just reminded me when I came back to, and I saw this, and it was a bit of a, well, you know, a Sabo Awakening, because that's like, collect what you love. And I've been listening a lot online, and I missed this because of the OP15, the link into Skypiea, and I'm like, you know, so focused on Skypiea and Enel, and you know, even when I'm collecting, I've been really focused on that arc and thinking about SPs from that arc, that I kind of miss this, because this is like almost like you're like looking into the future on this card, and Bandai loves to do this when they just sneak a card in from a future arc into a set. But this, the Zoro, you know, the P Konami, but these storytelling, these story SPs, for me, like the Onami, these are moments that are just captured. And I think the simplicity of it is what makes these special. And I cannot believe, if we're going to quickly talk about price, I cannot believe that this SP, this Story Sabo, is the same price as the, I'm going to say, the regular SP with the background. I can't believe they're the same price. They are, in my opinion, and this is very subjective, so don't, you know, people like different things, but this is just my view as a collector. These storytelling SPs are way better than the ones with just the background. No matter what the background is, whether it's a Gum style background, whether it's, you know, just a sort of, obviously you've got Boa with the love hearts, which is a great SP, by the way, I love it. But I just think these storytelling ones over time are what I love and what I think are very collectible. And something that once you have it in your collection, they'll be very hard to let go of, or very hard to trade, or very hard to sell. And the reason I wanted to talk about this as well is that I'm seeing, you know, a lot now about, oh, OP15, people comparing it to OP11 and OP12 and OP14's a better set and yada. Oh my goodness. And I think we're just falling into the trap of, and I think because Pokemon's done really well, you got a lot of people coming in that are just like, oh, how do I make money on sets? And that's fine. Like I've always said, collect how you want to collect, play how you want to play, invest how you want to invest. That's, you do you, right? There's no right or wrong way. But if you're just chasing particular sets, you're going to miss out. And you know, even OP11, it's a great set. I mean, people were saying, oh, it's okay, it's not as good as this, it's not as good as... If you only watch Investor Bro videos, they'll tell you OP05, OP09, and OP13 are the only 3 sets to buy. That's the narrative. You'd have missed all the other sets. And it's like OP15, oh, skip OP15, it's mid, it's this, it's that. Really? It's mid? And I've always said you don't have to have watched the anime to enjoy One Piece cards. And I think lots of people I talk to now, lots of new collectors, they're saying they watched Netflix show. I asked in another video, but they started watching Netflix show. Then they've actually like got super into the anime. And now the more they're watching the anime, they're sort of getting more and more into it and going, oh my God, this is amazing. It's got such a strong tie-in. Particularly with these storytelling cards, yeah, that people are just getting a bit lost in it all, getting a bit lost in what to collect, and they're just trying to chase numbers or chase hype, and I think it's quite easy to do. And that's not to say that it's not, you know, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't be smart, but trying to time the market to have a perfect entry point and position yourself and all this investment chat, it kind of takes over the TCG to the point where all the content I'm seeing, it's not particularly about the cards, it's not particularly about collecting, it's just about buy this hidden gem because it's going to 10x. Here's a green arrow, this is going to, and like those guys that are making those videos, like they make some really valid points, but for me, it goes back to the original thing that really stuck with me of your collection should be about your passion, not just about a spreadsheet. Or is it a reflection of your passion, or has it just become about the numbers? And you can quite quickly fall into the chasing, but that doesn't mean that the Pikonami isn't an important card to have, because it's very collectible. And it also means, you know, it doesn't mean you can't be smart and buy cards that you think are going to do well. But if you're trying to time every card and you've lost the love of the art and you're just chasing the next thing because someone said to you, I mean, I'm seeing a lot now around, oh, the gold and silver SPs are better than the mangas or this and that. That's all fine. I'm not saying it's not great content, but you end up just chasing the next thing, because you've got to remember a lot of the content creators, particularly the bigger ones, and this is no hate on these guys, I watch all their videos and I love their content, but they're having to create daily content quite often. Like, can you always create really, really highly valuable content if you're having to release daily on this stuff? I mean, I've watched videos recently and I'm just like, and it's healthy to disagree with each other. It's healthy. This isn't like a hate video to say, oh, that, you know, those guys that are releasing daily content. It's nothing like that. I love those creators. So let me be clear. But just thinking constantly about what the next hidden gem is, what the next, oh, you shouldn't invest in OP15. Don't buy OP15 because it's not a good investment. OP14 is better. OP13 is the only set you should own. OP09, OP05. Well, OP03, OP04, these sets have also gone up in value, but everyone said they were rubbish sets. If anyone you talk to or you look online, everyone tells you 2 Legends is rubbish. Even that's gone up from where it was. So even if you're talking about from an investment perspective, now it hasn't gone up as much as like OP05 and OP09, but you fall into the comparison trap where everything has to be compared the whole time. And never are the content creators creating this content talking about, like OP15, Skypiea. Like, they're not talking about an L. They're not talking about why, you know, and some people don't like Skypiea. So even if they say, well, I hate Skypiea, so, you know, why, you know, skip OP15 because Skypiea is not for me. Like, that's kind of a different conversation. And I do just wonder how many of these guys actually collect, or they're literally just buying sealed product. Like, sealed product for the win. sealed product's great because it helps pay for your collection. That's my ethos. And again, you do you. If you want to invest, this is just my views and how I collect. But if you haven't got a love and passion for collecting, it just becomes like a numbers game. If you're going to do that, like, yeah, you can do it. And this doesn't mean that you shouldn't be smart and you shouldn't treat your collection like sort of like a business in a way. I think there's a fine line here because you can fall into the trap quite quickly. But if you're collecting and I just think that OP15, the skipping OP15 thing is just madness because it's not as good as OP14, and don't buy it now. Yeah, okay, don't buy OP15 now if you're planning to invest in it because it might go down by $20-30 and then you can make more money on it. Okay, fine. If you're just buying it to flip it, then you go ahead and try and time the market. Go ahead and time it. Like, everyone knows now what happens. The price is higher at pre-release, it then drops down and then goes up over time. That's it. How many videos do you need to hear about that? I've always bought a box or 2 boxes and then keep one sealed. That's generally what I do because it pays for the box and it pays for me to have the experience of opening it because I'm a collector. I'm not buying 10 boxes of OP05 or OP13. Fair play if you're doing that, but that's not what I'm doing. I like to collect for the art, and that's the link today to the Great Wave. And you know, this Sabo was just a bit of a wake-up call, and I haven't stopped picking this up because it's one of my favorite cards in my whole collection by quite a long way. It's given me the hunger to go after the Zorro SP. I bought the Boa Lisa, it's off upgrading. I bought the Silver Shanks because I'm collecting all the silver cards. But these storytelling SPs are something special, and I cannot believe that Sabo is the same price as the normal, if you like, SP looking one from OP15. And OP15, in my opinion, is not a bad set. I actually think it's a fantastic set. So I've discussed a lot today. Again, this doesn't mean you shouldn't be smart. This doesn't mean you shouldn't think about buying at certain points of the market, rather, you know, not FOMOing in, all that stuff. Do your own research. You know, this is not financial advice, but if you don't love collecting and have a passion for the hobby, then you're always just chasing what someone's told you to buy on Reddit or YouTube. And that kind of, you do you, but that isn't for me, you know. That's an interesting way of going about things. Anyway, hope you like the video, but honestly, this Sabo SP, can't go on enough about it. I personally love it, and yeah, it's a fantastic card. But please subscribe. We're on a road to 1,000 subs. I've got the Gum Golden Rifle. I'm going to do a video about English and Japanese because I think that's something that nobody's talking about yet properly. Not English versus Japanese in the sense, but the margin between Japanese and English is narrowing all the time. In fact, on the event mangas from OP15, the Japanese one that I bought for you guys for the giveaway, the Gum Golden Rifle, is more expensive than the English version. It's one of the first time I've seen it, so the gap is narrowing, and it's going to be very, very interesting. So I'm going to do a whole video about that because I think that's quite interesting to see what happens with English versus Japanese. But I'll talk about that in another video. But we're on our road to 1,000 subscribers. Please like and you know, comment down below. What do you think about OP15? What do you think about the way people are choosing to collect? Just interested to get your views. Again, let me be clear, no gatekeeping, no right or wrong way. You don't have to have watched all the anime. You don't have to watch a Netflix show. None of that. Like, you collect what you want to collect. But for me, this storytelling Sabo, it was a real wake-up call. Hope you enjoy the video. See you on the next one. Cheers.